Donington Park in Leicestershire and round 3 of the Esso Saloon Car Championship. And for the second race in a row, the coveted pole position goes to the Nissan Skyline of Keith O'Dore.
Well, obviously we've been out twice now. We've shown extremely promising in qualifying each time. For whatever reason, we haven't made a race-winning debut yet. So yes, there is in many ways a lot of pressure on me. Certainly today, as we've put in such a good qualifying time. I think we're getting towards sorting the braking problem out. Dunlops are helping us tremendously on the tyre front, so potentially I think we should be in for a good race.
Steve, so far you've had things a bit your own way as far as Class B is concerned in the Esso Championship. Is it going to be that way at Donington?
Well, from the practice times it doesn't look like it. Looks like I have to work a bit harder today.
Something you're looking forward to?
Oh yes, yeah, it should be a good race tomorrow.
Now this car really has been the one to beat. Why? What had you got development time in on it?
Yeah, we had the car ready basically in January, which I think was far before anybody else. And I think the tyres have got a lot to do with it as well. We're the only car running Bridgestone tyres, and I think they've been a big factor.
Now what got you into motor racing?
Purely and simply, I was asked. I was asked if I wanted to have a go. And I thought, well, in life, if you don't take your opportunities and you don't take a chance and to enjoy yourself, you never find out. And I just wanted to prove to myself that, yes, I am disabled, but even so, you can still enjoy life. It doesn't mean that everything has to stop. Even the excitement and danger of life doesn't have to stop totally.
Well, you obviously are enjoying it, else you wouldn't have come back for more. Are you going to do the whole season?
I'm hoping to do the whole season. It's like everything, you always need more sponsors. And we'll just keep going until the money runs out or the season finishes. Or I basically can't do it anymore. I lose a lot of nerve, I don't know.
After qualifying then in this first race away from Silverstone this year, the top 8 cars. Keith O'Dore's Nissan Skyline on pole, Graham Davis alongside him in the Sierra Cosworth, David Pinkney behind in the Sapphire Cosworth and Lionel Abbot's Saab, Richard Waller, Angus Mackay in Ford Sierra Cosworths and Steve Monk and Jeff Kimber-Smith in the Sapphire version. A rolling start, of course, for the Esso Saloon Car Championship. The pace car has already peeled off into the pit lane, and here we are in car with Lionel Abbot at the start. The Nissan Skyline to the right, Graham Davis to the left. Abbot already trying to make up a place or two as they come into the first corner, but he runs very wide indeed. A little bit of contact there between Graham Davis in the purple car and David Pinkney in the blue, white and pink car, and Lionel Abbot's already down to 4th, nay, even 5th. As Angus Mackay in car number 6, another of the Sierra Cosworths, comes through as they go down through the Craner curves. Very fast part of the Donington track, this. This corner is called the Old Hairpin. It may not look like a hairpin when you're in car, but it really is when you're driving, I can tell you. Up towards the corner at McLean's, and already the four-wheel drive Nissan Skyline GTR is pulling out something of a lead. The Cosworth Sierras and the Saab of Lionel Abbot are lined up behind him. Then next along come the BMW M3s and then the Volkswagen Golf GTIs of Class C. Bit of contact there, bit of, not sure whether that was a bit of trim or a door mirror perhaps thrown up in the air there among the Golfs. Back in car this time with Matthew Neal, and he's passed by the Dave Wallace Sierra as we come up to the S's. The Grand Prix circuit here at Donington Park being used, bouncing all over the curves, left and right into the S's there in the BMW M3. Matthew Neal currently leading Class B, the division for the 3-litre class, and lying well in the top 10. That's David Pinkney there in the Warranty Holdings Sapphire. Pinkney's not had too good a season this year. He's had a bit of bad luck mechanically, but he's a front runner in this race at Donington today. Just see how much of the road they use on the exit of Goddard there, the left-hander that brings them back onto the straight. They run right out onto the curb, kicking up a bit of dust. A nice dry day here at Donington too. The Nissan Skyline playing to a crowd, and a very sizable crowd it is too at Donington here today. Glorious weather, and just look, about 10 to 12 lengths or so already in these early stages Keith O'Dore has as his advantage in the Nissan Skyline GTR. Pinkney, Graham Davis and Angus Mackay there in number 6 battling for second place. Not very much in it, particularly there with Davis desperately trying to find a way past Pinkney. Midfield now in car with Graham Coombs, another of the BMW M3s in Class C. Lots of excitement directly ahead of him though. Somebody's off, big cloud of dust. Didn't quite pick up who that was who was off there, and Graham's going to find himself in trouble if he doesn't slow down just a little bit there. Ooh. Oh dear, Graham Coombs has managed to get himself past one of the Sierra Cosworths. It's a bit of a surprise. This explains it all. Number 10 there, that's the Sapphire of John Pye, leaving part of his bodywork on the exit of the Old Hairpin there, and the BMW was 34. That's Julian Fultz. Graham Davis up into second place, under braking for the Melbourne Hairpin. And David Pinkney in number 9 tries to take the place back again, right with Davis as they come uphill. This is into the left-hander at Goddard, but no, Davis has got the corner and he's got the place. So this is the leader, the Nissan Skyline of Keith O'Dore, very comfortably in the lead indeed. You notice it looks as though it almost goes around the corner on rails, and the Cosworths demonstrate that they don't exactly go around corners on rails. Graham Davis now pulling away from the other two, giving chase to the race leader Keith O'Dore. Pinkney and Mackay. Fifth there, Lionel Abbot having a good run in the front-wheel drive Saab Turbo T16. And Pinkney's right off, bouncing across the curbs. Now that's a dangerous thing to do because you can pick up all sorts of nasty things when you're on the grass, either things that might get into your radiator. And he's got a puncture. Rear near side tyre is punctured. Will he be able to make it back to the pits and replace that? I have a feeling that as it's the Grand Prix circuit, he may well have trouble. Back in car with Matthew Neal, still in the lead of Class B in his rimstock BMW M3, being chased vigorously by Steve Griffin, the man who won the 3-litre division in the opening 2 rounds of the championship. It'll be interesting to see whether Matthew Neal, the son of mid-60s Mini Cooper racer Steve Neal, can actually turn the cards this time and pick up a victory. Certainly he seems to be well in command of Class B, but he's made a big error here, straight across the gravel trap there on the exit of the S's. Now, I would have thought that we would see the second man in the class, Steve Griffin, getting alongside him there as a result of that, but he obviously didn't lose too much time. You can see there's still 3 or 4 lengths in it between cars 55, that's Matthew Neal, and 33, Steve Griffin behind him. So even with that error, Matthew is not losing the class lead. Well done him. Lionel Abbot now coming under pressure from the Evans Halshaw Sapphire. That's the car driven by Steve Monk, who's run so well in the series so far this year. And it looks as though the Saab is going to have to surrender that place. Yes, he's looking either side, ducking and diving to find a way round the Swedish car, and he does so as they go into the S's on the approach to the Grand Prix loop of the circuit here. A bit of sideways motoring there from Lionel Abbot on the exit of the S's, as he has lost 1 further place, so he's now down into 6th spot. Giving chase to him as well there is the blue Sierra Cosworth. That's the car of Sean Andrews as well. So Lionel Abbot, who had been running well in the very early laps of this race, now finding the pressure that he's coming under from the Cosworth-powered Sapphires and Sierras is something he's not able to sustain. And the challenge is there. The blue Sierra looks as though it'll have got through. Lionel correcting the Saab as he comes out of the corner, but we didn't see there whether it had got through. I think possibly not then. So the Skyline very comfortably in the lead as we go back to the middle of the field, and there number 25, the Evans Halshaw, the blue car there, that is Simon Weston, and 52 might pick up, showing a certain amount of bodywork damage as well. There's the overtaking manoeuvre successfully carried out by Sean Andrews in number 23, who has got past Lionel Abbott's Saab, and Abbott's now coming under pressure from number 13, driven this weekend by Dave Wallace, the Ogilvy and Mather Sierra Cosworth. In car again with Lionel Abbot. He'll be watching his mirrors very carefully indeed to see what's going on behind him. There's the challenge in the dip as they come up towards Coppice, and he's through. So number 13 has also demoted our camera car there, Lionel Abbot in the Saab 9000 T16. Not Lionel's happiest day. 44 here, this is the Systems Resources BMW M3, getting it all very wrong indeed. That's Paul Ingram. Is he going to end up in the gravel trap? No, he doesn't. Spins on the grass, cuts back across the circuit, onto the grass on the other side. Good job he got out of the way there, because the little blue and yellow flash you saw, that was the Honda Civic of Graham Churchill going past. Back in car with Graham Coombs at the Melbourne Hairpin. Bit of opposite lock, corrects. Oh, over-corrects. Spins to a halt. Back into first gear. Back onto the track again. Pulls away, uphill towards Goddard. Number 70, Roger Jones here in the Volkswagen Golf GTI, showing the absence of one of its windows. Now, that may well have been that contact we saw between the Volkswagens right at the start of the race. He's comfortably in the lead of Class C, and there you saw Graham Churchill in the Honda Civic VTEC, which is comfortably leading Class D. And it looks as though Graham Davis in car number 4, the Hoosier Tyres car, might be in a position to challenge for the lead, because suddenly, as we come to the closing stages of this race, he's only about 10 lengths or so behind the leader, the Nissan Skyline of Keith O'Dore. That's Davis there, just lapping number 52, Mike Pickup in the BMW M3. Now you see the race leader in the Nissan. There he is with the headlights on to tell the back markers he's leading, and would they get out of the way, please? And as you can see, only about a quarter of the length of that straight from the Melbourne hairpin up to Goddard is his advantage. He's going much more steadily through that corner than he has been doing. He is definitely slowing. Now, what sort of problem could he have? It may purely be a problem of heat, you know, because it's been such a glorious sunny day here at Donington Park that he may well be finding that the car is getting a little bit hotter than it's intended to. Could also be affecting the tyres as well. They may be going off a bit because of the heat. Graham Davis absolutely charging right on the curves, kicking up the dust as he goes onto the grass a bit. Down they go through the Craner curves then. The Nissan being closed on all the time by Graham Davis. Up to the Old Hairpin there. Davis through that corner, running a little bit wide once again. The leader in his sight now. There goes the Nissan Skyline. Keith O'Dore giving it all he's got, but he's obviously having to be very, very careful indeed, because he's certainly changing up much earlier than he was, and he's using the brakes rather less than he was too. And just look at this now, only about 10 lengths in it as they go along the straight for the final time. Graham Davis willing that Sierra Cosworth on the Hoosier tyres along to get right onto the tail of Keith O'Dore. He's got the S's, the Melbourne Hairpin and Goddard. That's all that's left. Angus Mackay coming under pressure there from Steve Monk as well. That's the third place battle. Back to the leaders though as they go down to the Melbourne Hairpin, and the challenge from Graham Davis. Is he going to have found his way past? Coming back out of the corner, uphill, a very popular place to overtake. Here they come, there's the Nissan, there's the Cosworth. Very much doubt if he can do it now. Only one corner left, leaves the braking to the very, very last possible minute as he goes through Goddard. And as they come to the line to take the checkered flag, you catch a glimpse of it on the right there. Keith O'Dore wins round 3 of the Esso Saloon Car Championship, with Graham Davis taking second place. And you can see there, acknowledging the plaudits of the guys in the pits and the massive crowd here at Donington, a delighted Keith O'Dore taking the first win in Europe for the Nissan GTR. Second, Graham Davis. Third, Steve Monk, because Angus Mackay had a 10-second penalty for a practice infringement. Class winners Matthew Neal, BMW, Roger Jones, Volkswagen, and Graham Churchill, Honda. Well, a delighted Keith O'Dore celebrates his first win in the Nissan Skyline. In a fortnight's time, the Esso Saloon Car Championship back at Donington Park for a 500-kilometre race. Will the Nissan last 4¼ hours?
On this week's Power Sports, back after the break.